Good afternoon, everybody. This is Tracy coming to you from The Leather Guy. If you caught my post earlier this morning, you saw that it is snowing here in Minnesota. It is still snowing and starting to let up right now, but now the wind is starting to pick up, which is so much fun with new snow. And I know that a lot of people throughout the country have been experiencing great winter weather there too. I know the Pacific Northwest has been getting snow. We have friends down in Georgia that have gotten the ice. Obviously, there's weather everywhere, so wherever you're coming in from today, can you please let us know where you're at and what type of weather you've dealt with for the last week. I don't know about everybody else. I was born and raised here in Minnesota. I don't like winters. Never have. Don't like them. I don't want to be here. And the older I get, the worse it gets. I never understood the thought of being a snowbird, but I get it now. I may want to retire or spend at least 3 or 4 of my months out of the year south, somewhere where it at least gets to, 50. That would be awesome. Anyway, so today what I'm going to talk to you about and show you about is a few different types of hides that we have here in the store. Maybe some uses that you can use these hides for, and just brief information about the differences between these types of hides. All the hides that I'm showing you today are cow. They're all variations of cow, which is the most common type of leather that we have in the store. We have more cow than anything else. Behind me, this is the image department, by the way. We were in this spot last week too, so the camera facing the other way is where the girls take the pictures and get the descriptions for the hides that they list, and then be on the other side of this room is where they list it. But in this corner is where all our upholstery hides hang. Now the upholstery hides are the biggest hides that we have. They are a full cow. They have not been split down the spine. It's the full whole cow. They range from about 40 square feet to 60 square feet. They're very large, and the reason why they do not split those down the spine is these are used mostly in reupholstering furniture and car seats and stuff like that. You need big panels for that, so when you split the hide down the center, you only get about 26, 30 inches wide, and then about 4 or 5 feet long. That's not big enough for the panels. When you leave the hide the full size of the cow, then you get that full 5.5 feet by 6 or 7 feet. Just like all the hides that we have here, there's never an exact measurement for each one because each animal is, cut a little bit different. They got a little fatter, they're a little bit skinnier, so there's no hard fast rule on what size of a piece that you will get. If you read your descriptions that we write, we actually put out the measurement of a box or a rectangle that you'll get out of a hide. We try and give you that big measurement so that you know if you're looking for something that's 36 inches by 48 inches, and this one says it's 60 by 40, you should be able to get that measurement out of there. If the measurement's quite a bit different, then you need to make that adjustment. So that is something that we get a lot of questions about too in our listings, because we will have the square footage that's on the hide, and then we'll have that box measurement. Those two numbers never will match up because the square footage one is done at the tannery and it's done with an electric eye. That is every square inch of the leather. Even these little tags over here, or if there's a hole in the middle, it takes that calculation away. But the square footage is calculated by every inch of the hide. When we give you that box size, it's just an interior measurement, not the full hide. So we get a lot of questions on that. I know it's confusing, but we put that in there to try and help. So anyway, so I'm going to pan out just a little bit and show you. It goes about half of the size of the building in this room, and there is just over 200 hides on that in that rack right now, but it holds almost 400, so we've got quite a bit on there. Generally, we will have a lot of tans, the neutral colors, tans, grays, browns, and whatever. But So you look for those hides if you want a big piece to work with. Generally, like furniture repairs or new furniture, you want to reupholster something. You can use it on car interiors. None of these come with certificates for fire retardant. We do get that question sometimes, but we don't get those certificates. But in all honesty, they're going to be fire retardant. 99% of these hides have no holes. I mean, our upholstery hides are one of the cleanest hides that we do have. But again, watch the descriptions. So if there is a hole or if there is a defect, you would see it in the description. How about making a woodworking apron? You could use the upholstery leather. The only concern I would have with that is the thickness of this is about a 3 ounce, which is pretty standard for upholstery leather. For an apron, like the woodworking or any of the welding apron type things, we generally will tell people to go up to about a 5 ounce and start in that range. So it's a little bit heavier. The upholstery hides also have a nice clean finish on them, so they're very perfect, I guess, if you will. Like there's no natural defects to it, so it's very neutral and clean. Therefore, it's a little bit slick too, so I don't know if you would like that in an apron or not. You could probably turn it over to the other side, to the suede side, and that would give you some more grip. But the woodworking tools probably aren't, I mean, I know they're sharp, but maybe not as bad as some of the other types of aprons that you, like the welding ones, you really do want to make sure you get it in that 5-6 ounce range so that you don't get that spark in there. But so you could maybe experiment with the 3, but honestly, I would tell you to start with a 5. So I'm going to flip around and then show you some individual hides that we have here and give you a little bit more background on each one. So excuse the movement here for while I'm flipping and then readjusting. Okay, so this first hide that I have is a full upholstery hide. And you can see it's wider than the rest of the hides underneath it. So as I was saying before, the 3 ounce, it's very lightweight, and this is how an upholstery hide feels. And I don't know if you can see the finish on there, but that's how that is. I can see where Jackie would have been helpful now. Okay, so the next 3 hides that we're going to talk about are the Chap Hides. Now, Chap Hides are sides, so that's half a hide. So that's where it's cut down the spine, and you can see where the width drops dramatically. So we've got this brown, and this is what I would call kind of a buffed hide, where it doesn't have a hard finish on it. There's no shine. Buffed is very similar to suede, but it's kind of like, I mean, if you literally think about buffing, you're kind of just taking a sanding wheel per se, and you're taking that top grain off to make it just kind of even. So this one's a 3 ounce. This mustardy colored one is also about a 4 ounce. It's nice and soft. These Chap Hides, which are cow hides, are tumbled more than like the oil tan. So they have a lot more body to it. Now this one is a 5/6 ounce. So this one's a little bit stiffer, but it's still more flexible than, say, our oil tan, which is a little bit stiffer. Now, Chap Hides, we predominantly see used in the Western industry for chaps and chinks, which are cowboy or, you know, Western use wear to keep your legs from getting caught up in twigs and stuff, or while you're working and not getting in barbed wire and such. But you can also use that for reupholstering too, in that 3 to 4 ounce range. So the next 2 hides that I'm going to show you are Bridle Hides. These range from about 9 ounce all the way up to 12 ounce. These are stiff hides. These start off as a veg tan, And these are going to be used more in like leashes and collars, briefcases, holsters, heavy goods that you're going to use. So they're much more stiff. This brown, we have a lot in this color. But you see how there's no real bend to it? It's just a stiffer hide. So that's why you would want it on those stiffer goods, things that you want that really want to hold its shape. So that is a brown bridle. And then the last one is this. This one's heavier. This is the 12 ounce. This is a really pretty color. A nice golden. Okay. And those are those heavy hides. So now all of those hides were all cow hides. Whoops, where did it fall? I'm going to switch you around again. So, all the hides that I've shown you today are all different types of cow hides. They all look different and they all feel different depending on the type of treatment that's done to them. What happens in the tanneries is they know what the end use is for the hide, so then they tan them accordingly. So they will use different chemicals or processes to make them softer or keep them stiffer, but they know ahead of time what the area of the leather business that they're selling this to decide how to keep it either firm or soft or what have you. So anyway, the last thing I'm going to show you are some calfskins. So we've got some hair-on calfskins that came in this week. These you can use on a lot of different little small projects. So we've got these little guys. And the hair is still on them. And they're really lightweight and flexible. You can use these for pillows. You could use these for little rugs. You can cut them up and make Western decor, like put little corners on mirrors or make tissue boxes and wrap them in this stuff. So we've got a bunch of these that just came in this week. There's lots of different things you can use those for. So that is pretty much what I've got going on here today. If anybody ever has questions while we're doing this or afterwards, you can just pop in here. We do monitor the conversations here, and we'll try and get back to you as quickly as possible. If anybody's interested in any of these types of leather and needs more information, you can email us from Facebook. You can contact us directly here at the store, which is 507-932-3795, or you can just message us whatever way you figure out. So until next week, I think that's really all I have. Thanks, guys, for joining.